See, today we'll create a storage account. Storage account. Create the storage account. So we need to provide the which resource group we want. Then storage account name. So I give Cloudsoft new and which region. So for the production, we'll choose premium. Okay. But here we have like a free tier, right? We use standard and redundancy wise. We have local redundant LRS, GRS, geo redundant, zone redundant, geo zone. Depends upon the critical like of the data. Like if it is very critical kind of data and very like important data, then better to go for GZRS. Okay, in the multiple regions, multiple zones we are going to replicate. Okay, otherwise locally we can keep geo redundant or zone redundant and geo zone redundant. Like this we are going to keep it. Okay, as of now I chosen geo redundant. And anonymous access not recommended to give. We can communicate with enter ID also. Copy operations from the any storage account we are giving the permissions. And cross tenant replication means another tenant also can replicate the data to this blob. Okay, file shares. We are going to enable the file shares also. What is the meaning of blob share is blob share is a object level kind of storage. Okay, so now here what is the meaning of blob share is? So object level storage. What is the meaning of object level storage is uh, every file also, like even in OneDrive also, one file also, one photo also we can access. For every object in the blob storage will get an URL. From that URL we can access or we can share that object also to the others. Okay, if it is a Azure disk, it is a block level storage. That means the complete, if you create a 60 GB, 120 GB disk, it's complete one block kind of thing. Whereas file share is a file system like NFS, these kind of servers we no need to maintain. On premises, even if you have any NFS servers, all those also automatically we can replicate to storage account and we can use the file shares. Okay, in our on-premises environment, we have the file shares. That means NFS servers or NAS servers. Those also like we can migrate to Azure files. Okay, what is blob storage is? It's an internet storage or maybe object level kind of storage. Okay, then tables are used for like without having any database, it's a serverless kind of tables also we can keep it. Queues also, message queues kind of queues we can maintain. Like normally we'll have the message queues between two servers, what is the communication is happening. Like this, we'll have the message queues. Those details also we are going to store in the queues. So these all the like storage account types we are going to maintain. And we are giving as of now the public access, but only within the VNet also we can give the access. Depends upon your requirement. I want access only from the VNet wise. I can enable the and how the point in time, if there is any problem, how to restore it also we can enable. For the production, better to enable. Okay. So then even if they deleted also, we can try to restore. For 7 days, we are going to keep the retain period. And by default, we are getting the encryption. If you can use either MMK Microsoft Managed keys, or we can create our own keys also. Using that, our encryption is going to be happen. Then we are going to create the storage account. So now that resource got created, and we want to access this one, we can in our local machine, we can have a storage explorer also. Microsoft is giving storage explorer. With that also, we can connect to that. And here also they have storage browser. We can access the storage browser. Okay. And if you come to the settings, the permissions, all those like whatever the permissions we have given, standard or premium. So these kind of options, all those we can enable. So these are while creating those, we have given these permissions. And if you come to the data management, like redundancy, data protection, all these also we can enable. So now here in the data storage, we have containers, file shares, queues, and the tables. We need to enable which one we want to use. And here by default, we got the logs, all that container logs, who access that container, those kind of details all are going to store here. And I'm going to create a new container kind of storage also, which of the data I want to keep. Okay, it's a container is nothing but one folder kind of thing. In that container, you can keep your data. So by default, it is private, and we can keep the encryption also. Then you can copy the files into this whatever the folders you want to maintain. All those you can keep in the container. Okay, and here to this container, we can copy the files also. Okay, we can upload the. So if you use the storage explorer also in your local machine, just like OneDrive kind of client, and we can authenticate and we can upload the files also. So now here we can drag and drop, or we can browse for the files. So suppose which of the files you want to keep, those files we can keep in the. So this one, that storage account we are using for the blob storage. Okay, so this one is for the blob storage. We are going to keep this. And for every, it's a, this is one object, right? This object also we will get an URL. Means every, why I'm calling this as a blob object level storage is every object in that blob storage we can access, or we can share, we can receive, okay, through that URL. Every object can be managed as one individual entity. Okay, so for that, what kind of data we are going to keep in the blob storage is, in the blob storage we are going to keep multimedia kind of content. So we'll have images, videos. Normally, even OneDrive also will keep, or iCloud. Okay, multimedia kind of content. Logs we can keep, unstructured data. So what is the meaning of unstructured data is Like we have maybe flat files, CSV files, Excel files, JSON kind of format. So these all the unstructured data. Okay. So what data warehousing or ETL team will do is we may be getting some millions of unstructured data that need to be processed and need to store into one database. That is called as maybe ETL kind of tool. Like we have a lot of data processing kind of solutions like ADF, all those. But the raw data we are getting from like from the clients, and they're going to upload or they're going to process from blob storage. That means the end users I'm telling to upload their data to blob storage. Once it has been uploaded to the blob storage, ETL team what they will do is they will convert the data, unstructured data into a structured their database they're going to convert. That is called as
Mhm.
ETL kind of tool. Okay. So now what we are using blob storage is we are giving the storage to the end users to upload their unstructured data. That's the unstructured data maybe either in the form of JSON files or maybe in the XML files or maybe MS Access kind of file. Whatever they have maintaining that data, either in the CSV format, Excel format, they're going to upload the data. Okay. So they're going to use the blob storage. And out of the box, what we can do is serverless. We can deploy static website also. So what is that meaning is without having any web server, normally we took a IAS or Nginx, Apache. So that means we took a server and we want millions of users, we may need more number of servers also for the high availability. But without requiring a single server also, we can deploy high scalable static website using blob storage. Okay, so what is that meaning is we have already the static web content is there. We use one web server to deploy that one. But today, today we don't have any web server. But still, we are going to deploy the website. Still, we are going to deploy the website. Okay, so how to deploy that static website using the web server? I will explain. Okay, so now here we'll go for our static, like our container name. So in the data management, so we have an option here, static website. So by default, it has been disabled. Okay, so by default, it has been disabled. So here I'm going to enable that static website. And in our static website, like we will have index.html would be there and error.html or 404.html. That would be the global error page. So now here in my website, I'm going to tell index.html is my index document. That means this is my home page. Even in the web server also, when we copy the files into IAS or var www.html, once you open that folder name, in that folder name, index.html is the default page it is opening. Okay, and I'm assuming we have an error page. That error page is is a global error page that need to be displayed to everyone. Okay, so now here I have enabled static website. And once we enable the static website, we got one URL. Okay, so as of now, I'll try to open that URL, but I don't get anything because I didn't copy any website. Okay, I didn't copy any website. So now I need to copy some files into this. Okay, I'll
URL.
go to my blob. Then one more container would be created in the blob. That container name is $web. Okay, we didn't created the $web, right? How
Hmm.
$web has been created? Once we enable the static website, automatically this $web is coming. Once we enable static website, automatically
Dollar
dollar
web will
web
get
is
created.
coming. So in this dollar web, we need to upload the data which you want to use for the static website. Your static web content need to be uploaded here. Okay, I'll go to any of the static websites. So we already downloaded the static websites, right? So maybe here we have Finexo kind of thing, Finexo hyphen HTML. In this, what is the problem I have is I don't have error.html. I don't have index.html is there. Okay, what I want to do is this about.html itself. I'll rename to
Dot
error.html.
HTML.
So easy to copy this one is the best one is you try to download today Storage Explorer one software that is. If you type Microsoft Storage Explorer, we can log into that. So I copied all the files here. Single drag and drop. Okay, I'm uploading this. So block size, access. Access here hot is most frequent data we are going to hit. Cold is less frequent data. All those data is going to upload it. So let's the data has been uploaded here. Most of the data has been uploaded. So now if you open that web page, normal that what is the static that Finexo web page is getting open for us. Finexo web page is getting open from where it has been open for us. So this has been coming from the blob storage itself. Okay, so that means not only to keep the unstructured data, we are going to use the blob storage, media content, or maybe logs we can store. Okay, any of the automation scripts also we can keep. And finally, we can make it as the static websites also we can use. Static websites also we can use. Any doubts on this? So today try to enable and object and one assignment I have given is just download the Storage Explorer. From that, try to connect to your Azure account. So with that, what we need to do is this storage accounted. We need to manage it. So that means all these objects, all this data can be copied from Storage Explorer itself. Okay, so now here the Storage Explorer download. Okay, so now this is a small software. We can download it. So once it downloaded, we can install even Linux also. It supports Mac also. It supports. And the file shares, what we can do is we can mount or we can map those drives either using NFS or Samba kind of protocols. Now we'll use that storage account as the file share also. As of now, we use for the blob storage. Now we are going to use that as file share. So now this has been installed. I'm opening that. So here sign into your. So once you sign into this using Azure or which cloud you are going to use. Okay, Azure China is different. Azure US government, or if you have any other. So we need to sign into that. Okay, so today sign into your account and try to copy the files from local to even their storage browser also we can use, that is web-based. Storage Explorer is on your OS, it is getting installed. Your OS it is getting installed that. Okay, so then we'll go for here all the storage. Once you log in here, all the storage accounts will come. To which of the accounts you want to use all these, we can manage from our laptop itself. Okay, so directly we can copy the files, all those also using the Storage Explorer. We are going to copy. Okay, so then here we'll come for this file share. So now if you come to this file shares, so we can add a file share here. We can add a, so now the storage account we want to use for the file shares. So for the file shares, we are going to use it. So file share. So now we need to give the name what any of the name we can give. So I have given my ISOs. That means all my ISOs I want to keep in that share kind of thing. And we need to plan for the backup also. We need to enable the backup. And in this backup, it's going to store the file shares. Then I'm going to create the file share. Okay, so then like let's that file share is getting created. So now we can, how to connect to this file share is today you need to practice. Okay, so we got a share URL we got, but how to connect to this from the Linux devices the developers or maybe team may be using from Linux devices or Windows devices. How to connect to those devices we'll discuss. Say here we'll go for the connect option. So now you can map it either from the Windows or Linux or from the Mac OS. We can connect. Okay, so you can upload the data also. And once you want to connect to this, okay, storage account key or that encryption. How to connect to this? From where you want to connect. Okay, say here you want to connect from Linux. So now these commands you need to type on your Linux server. Okay, so now here we have one ISO path is there. You need to run these commands. Okay, sudo mount -t CAFS. CAFS is one of the like a protocol kind of thing to connect to NFS kind of file shares. Normally in the Windows server, we can make it as a Windows file server and using the Samba kind of protocol, we are going to connect to that file share. But this is we are going to connect you to. So these individual you can run as a command on your Linux instance. Automatically that file share will come. Okay, so now we want to connect from the Windows. So you can map it as a Z drive. And here in the Windows, they're going to give some PowerShell command. Let's say you take one Windows server, take an RTP. In that you run this PowerShell commandlets. Then what need to happen is So what is the port number for 445? What is the port number? What is the port number for 445? Samba port number is 445. Okay. So that data you keep upload your data into, like here you can browse and you can upload the data. Okay, and even we can upload the data here to that ISO, or to that file share also we can connect. Then using this connect option, if it is the Windows, you are going to access through map drive, and using this we are going to my ISO we are creating, and they are given one shell script or bash script kind of thing, and we are going to connect to that file share. Then that would be mounted to our Linux device. So here, if you run these scripts on the Windows, what's going to happen? It would be mapped to your Z drive. You don't want for Z drive, you want for X drive. Then accordingly, the script we are going to run. Okay. So this, what it is going to do it, that we can access this as the, not as the blob storage or object level storage. We are going to access this as the file share. Instead of maintaining locally multiple file servers, because those are very expensive kind of thing, it's recommended to move to Azure itself. Okay, so definitely we would be getting the use cases. Already whatever the legacy data we have, we need to move to Azure itself, and all the developers and all the team members are going to use these file shares itself. And we should able to troubleshoot if any of the user is not able to log into, if any of the user is not able to access or mount or map those file shares, we should able to troubleshoot whether we have the enough permissions have been there or not. So these are all the things we need to check to access the file shares. Okay, so this you need to run. Where you need to run this one? This script where you need to run? Okay, on your PowerShell mission, we need to run it. Okay, so if you run this one, automatically based on that map drive you have given Z drive or X drive, that file share will come. Okay, so once you create the file share, go to here the connect option, and if it is the my Mac OS wise, we have the Mac OS script also they may be giving for us. Okay, so using that Samba itself, it is connecting. Okay, and we can take the snapshots and backups also for our file share. Okay, so everyone we are going to use even for ABD also. If any of the file shares we want to give the access or storage accounts, like we are going to use for FS logics also, we require the knowledge for the profile management also. You need to use the storage account knowledge is required. Okay, so then tomorrow I'll explain some of the Entra ID kind of thing. Normally, previously it's called as Azure Active Directory, but now it's called as Entra ID. In the Azure AD is now it's called as Entra ID. Then from day after tomorrow onwards, we'll go for Azure AVD. So today, definitely try to upload some data to Storage Explorer. Through the Storage Explorer, upload the data and try to access that from the Linux and the Windows. That is, I have given the assignment. From PowerShell, you try to connect. And Linux mission, once you connect on the Linux, you can run those scripts. Instead of copying the complete script, line by line, you copy and paste it. have any doubts or problem to connect, I'll show you tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
So possible, connect at 8:30.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
So try to
Yeah.
spend because storage will looks very simple kind of thing, but lot of options are there. Okay, so like in AWS, these are 3 to 4 services, but Azure has given in the storage explorer itself, they have given everything.